That's it. Second time's a charm. Twitch blipped. It actually paused the intro. Hello, Internet, and welcome once again to the free-to-play cast brought to you by MMOBomb.com, your home for all things free-to-play related. I'm your host, Mike Byrne, and this is episode 374. 374, closing in on 400. Closing in on 400. It just seems like yesterday we did episode 300, but here we go. And we've got a lot to cover today, including our first topic, which isn't going to be a specific game. We're going to talk more about like the mentality of playing some of these free-to-play games or MMOs in general. Joining me to go over all of it, Ms. Quinlan Bowers. What's up, Q?
I'm ready for the snow to go away.
Right? He's a little chilly. It's a little chilly.
Well, we're not supposed to have snow more than like a half a day here. That's the way it works. Half a day and it's gone, but it's been here for like 4 freaking days now and it needs to leave.
I hear you. We came back from Disney to steps that almost killed me walking up them with luggage. So it was fun. Also on the line, on time because he has internet today, Mr. Wilfredo Rivera. What's up, sir?
Yeah, it's internet's important when you're doing things like this.
Yeah, a little bit. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you on time. You're looking good. How's the cold and the snow for you?
I mean, it's typical, you know.
Just staying in your
around this time of the year.
Just staying in your little dungeon, playing your games.
Staying in the void, yes.
Well, we got a lot to cover. Before we get to it, though, we got a box.
I
heard about this box.
We got a box.
I gotta do it. What's in the box?
We gotta do it.
I heard about this box and I told Mike I hate him.
Yeah, so I know who sent it, and I think I know one thing. So this was arranged a while ago because things are coming from China when we get them from MiHoYo, Genshin Impact. So I had to send them like all my information a long time ago, and with no idea of when they were sending something, just that they wanted to send something. Okay, fine. So finally, fast forward, we get a box. Now I cut the sides just to make it easier to rip the tape open on stream, so I didn't fumble with it and look like an idiot. Mm-hmm. Now I was told that it's more copies of Wildstar.
Yes!
MiHoYo sent me 11 more copies of Wildstar. I was told that there was going to be, they alluded to, they didn't show me pictures or specifics, but a figurine of some type. Q seems to think it's going to be Paimon, based on some stuff going on in the game more recently. And so here's the deal. I mean, this is a big box for one figurine. So we'll see what it is. But I did tell Q, since she's still actively playing the game, that if the figurine is not like total garbage, like a cheap plastic toy or whatever, and she wants it, I will mail it to her. So Q, you can have the thing.
Ooh, this is gonna be interesting.
All right. 99% packaging? Yeah, probably.
The giveaway they were doing recently was the Paimon figurine and a Paimon chibi plush.
Gotcha. All right, so there is quite a bit of packaging.
Windshark says, it's a slime!
All right, so here's the figurine. Wow, there's a lot of shit in here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show all this without it being the show. So here is the figurine, and you are right, Q. It is Paimon.
Oh, it's a chibi Paimon.
Now I can't tell. I'm assuming it's plastic just because of its weight, but it is.
Yeah,
it is
the Paimon
sealed.
Figurines I've seen are there. Oh God, what is? I can't think of the name of the brand for the but they're like vinyl.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, the only thing on here in English is MiHoYo. Everything else is in Chinese, so I can't.
Does anybody else think that should just always be said in a really cute, high-pitched voice?
MiHoYo?
MiHoYo?
MiHoYo.
All right, so Q, if you want this figurine, I can mail it to you. It's pretty light. I don't, but if you want that little guy there, we'll go ahead and send her to you. I'm not going to open it because if Q wants it, it is sealed by a sticker, and I don't want to open the box. But the box is torn a little bit, so.
Well, I'm not an RFB person. I mean,
Okay,
what I
okay.
have
So then we'll go ahead and
in-
open it then.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
We'll go ahead and open
When
it.
I had my Star Trek collectibles, they were all just stood out.
Well, I mean, what's the point if you're not going to take it out of the package, right?
I know. Well, some of them, like when I did, but all of this stuff got left with the next years ago. But I had like all the Todd McFarlane anime figures, all of them. Some of them I did keep in the boxes because I had dupes.
Let me just jam your foot down on this spike, Paimon. Hold on 1 second.
Right?
Gotta love those foot pegs, man.
Actually, the foot peg doesn't. It's not sized right.
That's not uncommon for something that was probably developed in China.
Like it's actually not sized right.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get it in the hole.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
would
seriously,
be
it
what he
won't
said.
fit in there. But there's Paimon.
Yeah, that's the one I saw. She's so cute and annoying.
She's cute. I don't understand why the damn thing won't fit.
Emergency food.
Oh wait. I think I
Did you get it?
I think I might have. Nope. Oh yeah, I did. Oh my god.
got-
That is
never mind.
ridiculous.
There
There we go.
Way the wrong way.
And this is the show, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. So maybe
Is he
that's
just having Paimon make little weird noises?
Scuttering like a crab.
all right. So Q, there's Paimon. If you want her, we'll send her to you. My God.
Now the question is, what else is in the box besides?
Yeah,
the
that's what
bubble
we're
wrap?
gonna look at.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of shit in here. I mean, some of it
I want
looks
you to
like
play the game.
I don't know.
Mint said maybe the thing wasn't for her foot.
No comment. All right, we got like a
Love you, dude. Love you.
envelope. Maybe should have opened this first. I don't know.
Like some letter explaining.
That's cool.
shit.
It's
that
a
it has
letter
the-
written in Chinese.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
elements.
that's cool.
Yep. The Mihoyo team wishes you a magical 2021 full of exciting adventures and blessings from the Archons.
Oh, cute.
That is cute.
Oh. She just wants a hug.
She just doesn't want to be food.
No promises.
Okay, what? Oh, these are like the
Not
acrylic
like-
stand figures that you see on different games. Final Fantasy 14's done these before. So there's like 3 pieces. They're very thin, but you
Oh,
put
and
them
they-
together and they stand up. Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, so we got an acrylic
Those are
figure here.
Is it?
We got our mage friend.
It's kind of because I'm looking at the super teeny tiny
Yeah,
window,
let me-
trying to tell what they are.
Here,
I think
I'll go to my solo
the
shot so you can
first
check
one was
them.
Barrett.
There you go.
Yeah, so Barrett.
That's our mage,
Amber.
Amber.
And Bidou, however, I think.
That's my favorite right there.
Lisa,
Yeah,
that's everybody's favorite.
So that's like 5 different. 5? Yeah, 5 of them. Is that all of these? Yeah, that's all.
That's not bad. That's a pretty good haul so far.
There's another stand because Paimon likes spikes in her, I guess.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they were just
What else?
accounting for the fact
now we got
that the peg wouldn't fit
Buttons,
the hole.
Ooh, buttons.
Man,
Wow.
that is a hell of a haul.
right?
Right? Why do I have a feeling this was all the stuff that they had as promotional material that didn't sell? And they're just like, send it to America.
We got
one-
5 buttons. We got another.
I don't know. These are
I
the
don't know
same
what
people
this
that had
is.
towers of consoles for their to give away to their employees.
I don't
So
know what this is. It's something in another little envelope. Oh, it's little art postcards.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
neat. That's the landscapes.
Yeah, that's awesome, though. I'm not going to lie. I'd frame those in a heartbeat.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
especially that one.
That's pretty. They really like put a lot of work into their landscapes. They've got videos on like where they went for inspiration, like real locations.
That's really dope though, because their artwork is just fantastic. I love it.
And then there's one more thing in here. Good Lord, after the show, I'm gonna be picking up all kinds of plastic. Yeah, I do wish they were bigger, Ninja, but they're postcards. Holy hell!
You get a hoodie?
Bag, shirt.
No, it's a playmat.
Dope.
Wow.
All right.
And it's
okay.
It's I don't know if it's they're saying it's a mouse pad, right? But
it goes under everything.
Yeah, I would play TCGs on it is what I would do.
Oh, it's the gang.
Yep, the gang's
That's
all here.
dope. Yeah, I totally rock
It's an oversized mouse pad / playmat, and I mean I don't think it was made by Inked, but it has that inked. It's the thick rubber and it's the stitched edge for those of you that TCG and get playmats or do custom playmats. This thing is huge. I mean, yeah, this could be a mouse keyboard pad definitely, but yeah, man, that's a pretty impressive box. Q, I'm gonna keep the playmat because I'll actually use this. If there's any, like, if you want the Paimon or a button or whatever, just we'll talk later and whatever. I'll send you stuff.
All right.
Now I gotta get all this shit off my desk.
Shark says the mouse pad is missing to Luke, so it's garbage.
Whoa! Almost fell.
Don't fall.
It's missing Luke, so it's garbage. All right, so that's the box. Now, let's get to some news. Honestly, did not expect to have to go through that much stuff in the box. But it's always nice to receive a box. So, there we go. Remember, if you're in chat with us, fantastic. Make sure you vote right there on what we stream. If you're not in chat and you're watching on YouTube, come on over, twitch.tv/MMOBomb. We stream on Mondays, Thursdays, and of course the cast and another stream on Friday, with the occasional Wednesday Jason Winter thrown in there as well. But getting started with our topics today, Jason wrote a piece on MMOBomb.com. If you haven't read it, I suggest going and reading it. It's kind of like a New Year's resolution-ish type piece, except for gaming, right? This year, make yourself happier and quit your favorite game is the name of the piece, which might sound a little counterproductive, making yourself happier by quitting your all-time favorite game. But if you read through the article, Q, his argument is that, maybe it's not really your favorite game anymore. And I think I wanted to talk about it a little bit because I think we've all been there, whether it's free-to-play, whether it's not free-to-play, whether it's an MMO. Typically, what Jason is talking about lends itself more towards MMOs or games as a live service than just some single-player game. But some people get wrapped up in a single-player game and, playing because that week because you feel like you have to, or you got to get those dailies done, or you're going to fall behind on your team if you don't play. I think we've all had those times in a particular game where we're maybe not playing because we want to that night. We're playing because we feel like we have to. And I want to get into some games that have done that to you. What kind of drives you to that point in a game? What can immediately turn you off from your favorite game? And have you ever quit a game? Now, Jason's not saying, like, take a break for a week. He's saying quit for months. And maybe you come back, maybe you don't. And he gives some examples in his own life of when it actually felt better to let that game go. Have you ever been there, Q?
I'm really weird for like an online MMO player, and part of that comes from the fact that up until 2005, I did not play MMOs. I didn't want anything to do with MMOs. I was just like, if I have to play games with people, I can do that. Board games, and I don't even want to do that. It wasn't until my roommate got me into EVE Online that I started playing.
Gotcha.
But So one of two things happens. Either I just kind of fall off a game because everybody else that I was playing with, that I, was enjoyed playing with, they slowly leave, or I get really overwhelmed or bored. And I easily get like there's a reason I move so much. Like on I did we did it when I was a kid, and I just jobs, I get bored with stuff. And so I just shift around. So even now with like Genshin Impact, I haven't played for the last several days because I kind of started to reach that point where in my brain it was starting to feel like I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, and I don't want that out of a game. So I just wait and then come back in and do it later, so I don't feel like I'm forcing myself to do something just to stay caught up with everybody else or whatever it is. But I'm one of those people that also, like, I will play an entire MMO by myself and avoid getting caught up in the having to do stuff just because other people are doing it thing as well.
Wilfredo, you ever done this? Quit your favorite game? And again, we've all done that. I'm going to take a break for a week or two. I'm talking about, look, I just got to stop playing this. I got to, maybe start going to the gym more, or maybe I want to play something different for a while, or my friends dragged me into this other game, and really there's just not enough time for both. So you drop the one that's your, quote, favorite.
All the time. It's kind of a yearly thing. Like, I'll play Guild Wars 2 for like a solid 6-7 months straight. I'll drop it for 3 or 4. Same thing with ESO.
What gets you to that point? Like, what is it about?
So for me, the biggest thing is always, I primarily play as a solo player. And when I want to do things, like if I want to get involved in PvP or things like that, I feel as though like I'm really underwhelmed or overwhelmed and under geared. So I spend a lot of time just trying to grind out what I need to be at baseline, and then it's no longer fun. It's now work. So I have to take a step back and say, you know what? Let me stop this for right now. When I come back to it, I'm in the mood. Hopefully I'll be, set, ready to go. But I need to go away from this because while I don't have the gear in this game, in life, I've got a whole bunch of gear that I have, and I need to put that to use too. Like I have my friends, I have my family.
I love the way your Discord picture froze. It looks awesome. Oh, it just came back. Damn.
It roboted on him for a bit.
Yeah,
too.
it did. Yeah, it did.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's kind of like a mental health thing. I can't get too attached to it because then I'll be angry and I'll be like, all right, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. And it gets me nowhere. So I take a break.
Yeah, I've done it. Like, obviously, Final Fantasy 14 is what I would call my favorite MMO at the moment. Shadowlands is doing well for me. In fact, tonight will be raid night on Ready Check Radio stream, so that's doing well right now. But I think that would be WoW would be the best example for me, where there was a time, like particularly in Mists of Pandaria, where I just, after playing hard in Burning Crusade when I first started, and then through Wrath of the Lich King, getting to Pandaria, and it was the grind that did it to me. It was the rep grinds and the feeling of I have to do this, and finally just walked away from the entire game. And the only time I ever really jumped back into WoW was when an expansion came out, just really to experience the story, level my character to max, and then I left. Like, I didn't do a ton of raiding in Warlords of Draenor or Battle for Azeroth. And so now I am enjoying it again in Shadowlands, but it's because it's kind of harkened back to the way it used to be as far as some formats. So, like, the game kind of, Misfit makes the point that I never stopped playing a game, they stopped playing me. And I feel like that's true to a certain extent with my, like, Warcraft experience. Like, the game just stopped playing me. It wasn't what I wanted out of the game anymore. 14, I think, is a different beast for me. 14, and I think it's because of a very intelligent patching cycle. There are just natural ebbs and flows in how I play Final Fantasy 14. I never really stop playing Final Fantasy 14. Like, my sub is always active. I'm always in there doing something. But because of the way the patch cycles work and what content is usually in certain patches, there's just, like, right now in the .4.5, I'm in there maybe once a week, knocking some stupid stuff out and things like that, because there's not a whole lot of the content that I play the game for. I'll go and I'll do the savages and things like that, but I don't farm them or anything like that. So that one's been, I think, a little more intelligent in exactly what I look for in an MMO. There's just a natural flow in, if you like PvP, then that's going to be on these 2 patches. If you like the 24-person raids, that's going to be on these 2 patches or these 3 patches. If you like the 8-person raids, that's going to be on these patches. So you can come and go a little more freely there without... You still got to do some gear grinding, no doubt, and then, you know, relic grinds if you want to do those and things like that. But I think that one's been a little more on keel for me. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting piece. Jason gives examples of like him playing Conqueror's Blade like crazy for a while, and of course Guild Wars 2 and Lord of the Rings Online. And it is amazing. I got to say, like, I haven't cold turkeyed a game because I don't play games like that much anymore in a while. But when I have cold turkeyed a game, it feels good. It does. Like, the first few days, you're like, oh, I really should be in there, Q. I should be in there. But then you start like, no, I'm not going to log in today. And then the next, no, I'm not going to log in today either. And then all of a sudden you're looking back and it's like 3 weeks, and all of a sudden Q's done 17 new art pieces that she a month ago said she didn't have time to do.
Right. Well, but it's like and this is such, it feels like such a weird complaint to me, and I know it's not a complaint for a lot of people, but my problem right now that I'm having with Genshin Impact is actually the same problem I was having with PSO2. There's too much. There's too much going on. Like every time I turn around, it's like new content, and I'm just like, guys, like. I understand for a lot of people this is great, but for me it's just like after a while I'm just sitting there staring at it going, oh my god, this is so overwhelming and I'm never going to keep up with it, and then I'm going to and I don't want to feel bad about something I'm supposed to enjoy, so
right.
I just have to be an adult about it and be like, you know what, maybe I don't need all this cool gear this time, and I'm sure cool stuff will show up next time, so I just have to chill and back off and, you know, go draw an art piece or something, catch up on the gazillion shows I'm behind on, whatever.
Windshark chiming in saying that that's Warframe right now. Barely logged in the last month. And that's funny because Warframe's got a lot of new stuff going on. Like, if you would have told me that, Windshark, like 2.5, 3 months ago, I would have said, yeah, it's kind of a little slower pace right now. But then they just went Heart of Deimos and all that stuff. So that's kind of funny that you're just like, you know what? I'm going to take a break from it. It's always good to take a break. Moderation.
Yeah,
moderation.
That's a thing that happens in a lot of games where if you don't play for a while and you come back, what's all this new stuff? Where'd this come from? I have so many new systems to learn and develop. And it's a pain.
Might go back to Star Trek Online.
Exactly. Oh my God. Mind you, I used to play that game maybe 2 or 3 years ago nonstop. And I stopped playing for like 3 months. I come back. Completely new overhaul. They completely changed the hub. I'm like, when did this happen?
He's like,
well, and then last year
Wilfred was like, when the hell did the Klingons get here? What the hell?
Last year they declared the year of the Klingon, and they're like, we're revamping everything Klingon while adding more Klingon story, and you're just like,
heard you like Klingons.
Okay,
you have that like complete and utter shock because you're just like, this is all new, and you expect me to catch up right now?
Yep.
I'm sorry. It's just...
But it's been forever, so you're like, how do I even play the game anymore? Shit, I have to create a new character.
That's the thing.
That's the worst, too. Like, that's a great point. Like, when you quit, and then you come back, and you're like, I don't even fucking remember my rotation. Like, I gotta learn this whole thing again, and I'm an expansion and a half down the road, so I got all this leveling and stuff to do. And then you get so overwhelmed that you're just like, fuck it, I'm quitting again.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I swore. That'll be the only time I drop the F-bomb there. Last week we kind of...
I can't guarantee that.
Yeah, last week we went a little far because the topics warranted it. And we got called out rightfully by a YouTube comment, rightfully. So that's my one F-bomb for this show. Let's take a look at some games closing and opening, and then kind of doing both. One of them kind of doing both. So this actually broke late last night. Q and I were going through a bunch of stuff that she had found, and we got as much information as we could and went ahead and wrote it up. It appears that Hi-Rez Studios may be working on an unannounced game, could have an unannounced company in the background. And Smite, not doing too, grew 41% over the 2019-2020 to 2020-21 season. This is all coming from Stuart Chisholm dropping tweets all over Twitter last night. And so here's where it gets a little weird, Q. First up, we might have a company that we don't know under the Hi-Rez umbrella.
Right. So for those who are not aware of Hi-Rez's structuring, because it's a little bizarre, right? When they first started, it was the three founders, Stu, Erez, and Todd. And Erez and Todd are no longer there. They're off on their own companies that were originally part of Smite or part of Hi-Rez, but at least announced by Hi-Rez, and they're off doing their own thing. So it's kind of the same family. But then there's the umbrella, right? Because they decided they wanted every game to have its own developer so that they could just specifically concentrate on their games. So Titan Forge Games is doing Smite, and then First Watch Games does Rogue Company, right? Like that. So if you go and you look, because Stuart dropped a thing basically saying, hey, we're hiring. And I don't know if you guys are looking for a video game job. They are a really good company, and they do remote. They're as long as you're in the UK or the US. But anyway, so it's like, hey, we're hiring, and I go out of curiosity to look and see what they're up to. And the way they're formatted, it's in big bold letters. Anything in big bold letters is the company name, except for right at the top where it says publisher. So if you get down far enough, you get to Redbeard Games, which they announced a long time ago. And it just says unannounced game. So it's not that they might be. They are working on an unannounced game.
Redbeard is working on something,
Games.
and we'll get to that in a second.
And then below that is just in the big bold letters reserved for companies, unannounced. So, and then there's a couple of job listings looking for people who doing, work with Unreal 4 and, all the different requirements and everything. So if they're doing yet another game, it's going to be with apparently yet another company that they're maybe announcing at some point in the future.
Yeah, so if you break it down, the Redbeard team seems to be doing something on Unreal that is multiplayer and has to do with PC, consoles, and the jobs that they're looking for, somebody, an extra qualified candidate might also have some mobile experience. That doesn't mean the game that they're working on will obviously have all of these features or not, but they are looking for people that have console development experience, PC development, Unreal experience. Now, we do have, Wilfredo, Divine Knockout that was trademarked by them last year, DKO, Divine Knockout. So maybe some type of fighting game or something like that. When you go to the unannounced company and you look at their specifics on the jobs and the requirements for the jobs, again, it's Unreal, it's multiplayer, it's online, but it also specifically references shooter game experience in there as well. So what do you think? Are we getting from Redbeard maybe a Smite fighting game? We're seeing that kind of happen on the League of Legends front, right? League of Legends making its project in the background, a fighting game with those characters. Maybe we're seeing that here, something similar. Divine Knockout sounds like a god punch to me, right? And then you've got this unannounced company, or potentially unannounced company, with an unannounced, probably looks to be a shooter game as well. What are your thoughts?
Did you really just say a god punch to me?
It does.
Really?
Divine Knockout.
Yeah,
Smite,
I get that.
Fighting game, gods.
Yeah, no, it's very apropos. Corny, but very apropos. But I would probably say, yeah, they're probably going to go in that route. I mean, if you think about it, though, Smite is kind of a divine fighting game in its own right, even though it's, tower defense and such.
Right.
But this would be kind of cool.
More MOBA than tower defense, but yeah.
Yeah, but it would be kind of cool to see some of these gods fight, like one-on-one, no assistance, just get into an arena and just brawl it out, which would be cool. Now, as for Redbeard, I'm not happy about that.
Why is that?
And the reason why, I don't want another Fortnite or Battle Royale I'm
Oh, no, no, no.
sensing
Well, that's
this.
the shooter would be the
That's-
unannounced company.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the unannounced company. Then I don't want this at all. Okay, I'm tired of it. I am sick and tired of battle
It
royales.
doesn't
This-
say battle royale. It just says
But it's
shooter. It
giving
says
off those
multiplayer.
Multiplayer shooter, sure, that could be Call of Duty Warzone 2, whatever. This feels like battle royale. It's making me sick. I'm tired of it. I want something new. Be different.
So angry about it. He's so angry about a potentially new game.
Something we should point out: all of Hi-Rez's stuff is not necessarily known for being something new.
True.
I know.
That's one thing. The other thing is Hi-Rez has their big focus on everything they develop is competitive and with an eye for esports specifically. That's the reason why, they launched all the other actual non-game developing companies they launched, like Skillshot and Alacrity Art House and all of that. All of their stuff is focused around esports. So whatever they do will have we potentially want this to be an esports thing going on. Every single thing.
Yeah.
And if Battle Royale is one of those things,
That's in the
there's a pretty
pipeline.
good chance they'll do it.
I can feel it, man. My bones are jingling from this.
Obviously, we don't know a lot here. We don't even know what they are, let alone if they will be free to play. They probably will. It's Hi-Rez. But, there's, most of Tryon was free, and most of Gamigo was free, and then Atlas Rogues came back. So you never know, but it's likely going to be a free-to-play game since we're dealing with Hi-Rez.
With what I know about Hi-Rez and having talked to them for so long, they're buy to play. I think hell would have to freeze over. Like literal hell.
So
They're doing something.
let us know what you think they're doing in the comments below. Let's move on to a game closing now. Talk about openings. Let's talk about closings and go to GameForge ending Soulworker service. But the developers trying to not let this one go away totally. Wilfredo, you seem like this might have been your type of game. It's got the anime feel to it, got the fighting feel to it. Were you a Soulworker dabbler?
I dabbled in it. It was the cool thing was it definitely gives you that like high intensity, high action, high paced game, which is awesome. But it again, if anybody's ever played these games, even for like consoles like God Eater and things like that, you're getting a lot of the same stuff. And I think that's part of the reason why this game isn't working out so well. Don't get me wrong, graphically, it's very stunning, especially for an anime game. It's a lot of fun to actually get into the fight. Characters are really well drawn out, thought out, but it's bland. It is very repetitive, and it sucks.
Downside here is GameForge from the bat has had gacha mechanics in the game as well that weren't received very well. Q, and I mean that's Genshin Impact's bread and butter as far as money goes, but they were received a little better than Soulworkers. Now,
I mean,
go ahead.
With Genshin Impact, I really don't spend any money in it, and I don't feel like I've been punished with the gacha mechanics in Genshin Impact by not spending a lot of money in it or anything. I do the battle pass, and the little daily thing that's like $5, but as far as like dumping tons of cash on it, I don't. And like I said, I just don't feel like it's punished me for not doing it. So
they Lion Games, the developer, actually put on their Facebook some Q&A because they're going to try to open a global server of their own so that the game doesn't entirely disappear here from the West. And there's just a few Q&As. I'm not going to read all of them to you. You can check it out on mmobomb.com. Click the link in the piece, and it'll take you right to it. But they do ask what contents will be included in the EU/NA server build that Lion Games is producing. They're saying, hey, we're going to try to provide the latest content for our current version of service. More importantly, they do reference the cash shop here, specifically the gacha items. And they say, moreover, Cash Store will be reconstructed from the web store into the in-game store, same as other territories. It will include the preview function to try on costumes before purchase. Other gacha items, such as roulette, will be excluded from the cash store, so they're not going to do that. Is there an opening date? No. But of particular note here, and for what are probably obvious reasons to many of you, you won't be able to transfer your GameForge account to any potential new server that they spin up for GDPR reasons, mainly in the EU. So you'll be starting afresh. Knowing those specific changes, Wilfredo, would you be in favor of jumping into the new version or the new servers, or was the game itself just not for you? Yeah, the gacha's gone, but the game itself boils down to not being for you.
I'd probably just let this one sit off to the wayside. Primarily because while the game is good, like I said, it's very repetitive, and then having to start all over again from scratch, not being able to transfer any of that stuff over, basically what you're saying is if you bought anything, whatever money you paid into it, now you got to do it again. And I'm not one to be that kind of guy. I'm a bit cheap. I'm a cheap date. Literally sit me on the side of the curb with a bag of potato chips and a Hugs juice. I am a happy camper.
Let's just sit here. Why can't we just sit here and talk? Why do we got to do something all the time?
We always got to go somewhere.
We always got to go somewhere, Q. Why can't we just sit here and talk? Here's a weird one for you on the whole closing and opening thing. This is kind of bizarre. So Haxity, I'm going to be honest, I had never heard of the damn thing until all of a sudden I had an email in my mailbox about it a couple of days ago. I think it was Monday when I was fighting my furnace. It's a card-based fighting game. Now, we've seen this before. It is rather like on the unique side of things, but there are other games that have done this similar thing. So it's a little bit of fun. I mean, there's no ranked play or anything. Basically, it's rock, paper, scissors with 3 different types of cards. You draft a deck for every game, so there is no buying of cards or anything like that. Anyway, the game is a little bit of fun. You can have some fun with your friends. Go for it. Here's the thing, though. It is entirely now free to play. 100% free to play. You get all the cards, all 3 characters. There isn't a single thing you can buy here. There's not even an option to buy anything. And if you're saying, wait, how's that game going to monetize then? It's not. It's not. Yeah, 100% free. Because they're basically disbanding the development team, sadly. Just didn't catch on in early access to the tune of the dollars that they needed it to catch on to sustain itself. So they're making it, rather than shutting it all down, they're making it free to play, 100% free to play. You can go in there and do your thing and maybe revisit it. You know, does it catch on enough as there's enough people playing it that maybe we can revisit it and do a little more development or take it in a different direction or add a new hero and charge $5 for it or whatever the hell they're going to do with it. So it comes with the caveat of, as the game stands right now, you will not see any updates, improvements, or anything to it. So if you want to go play it and have some fun, by all means. I don't think it's one that you're going to play all that long, but there is some fun there. You got to be okay with RNG, though, because there is a lot of it in this game. In the cards you get, in the order that you place the cards for your turn, what cards beat what. Again, it is a rock, paper, scissors type triangle. The art style, I loved the art style. I loved how all 3 heroes played when I messed around with it on Monday or Tuesday. I don't remember which. But, yeah, kind of sad. It's not going to receive any more love unless people start playing it all of a sudden. So they made it free to play to see who's going to play it. Wilfredo, did you check this out? Had you had a chance to touch this yet? I know I just put it in the show notes today, though. So if you have it, it's okay.
Yeah. No, I have not. But I did look into it a little bit before the cast, and it seems like it's a great idea. You know, it seems like there's a lot of potential for it, but I feel like the developers were just like, okay, we had a child. It didn't live up to our expectation. Let's abandon this one and go to a new one.
Yeah, I mean,
where's the investment?
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that, Q. I mean, that is essentially what's going on here. It didn't do what we wanted it to do, but I don't feel like they're abandoning it because they did leave it. They said, hey, we're going to leave the server. They could have just shut it down, right?
I feel like they're abandoning it. I feel like they left that little they kind of, were like, well, we may revisit it at some point. But the way the letter was written, it was basically like, just look for us in the future when we're doing other stuff. So
I don't know.
I
Then
think,
wouldn't it be easier to just cut your entire expense portfolio then and just kill it? I mean, because they're still paying for servers to run it. Granted, there's not a lot of people on them. It's probably not a huge, super expensive server or anything, but it is still an expense, even if it's a small expense.
Well, and it may be one of those things where it ends up being like light advertising for them. So they're on Steam, the game is there, people play this for free for a little while. And it's like, if it's, a decent-ish game, despite the fact that it's not getting any more updates or anything like that, it's just relative, then their name is at least still sitting there on Steam. So when they put something else there, somebody goes, oh, I recognize that name, and they did that thing that I kind of liked, but and maybe give it a try. Maybe that's the logic behind it. But I don't think they're coming back to this game.
I would recommend trying it. Like if it even remotely appeals to you, what we're describing and what we're showing to you on the B-roll footage and everything. We decided not to do a first look video for the game because of the circumstances. The game is unlikely to be long for the world. But so there was really no point in doing a first look for it. But and it would have been like a 6 or 7 minute video. There's not a whole lot to show besides here's how the game works. It would have been a tutorial video more than a first look video. So we opted not to do a first look video. If what you're seeing here, like the art style, the gameplay, what we're talking about, even mildly interests you, I would say check it out. Bring a friend so that you can have a little fun that way. There's definitely something cool there. It wasn't fleshed out. It wasn't quite there. The balance is clearly off in some circumstances against the AI. All the gripes that you see in some of the more negative reviews, there's a lot of validation to them, or there's a lot of valid information to them. But it's a game. And as a game, it's kind of fun. It's a little roulette-y. It's a little slot roulette-y, but it's kind of fun. And it's kind of sad to see that this is why we're able to talk about it on a free-to-play site, the circumstances being what they are. So we do wish the development team luck on future projects. Couple odds and ends before we head on over and do the weekly bombs, guys. The team over at Warner Brothers Games, San Diego, is hiring for a, quote, new AAA free-to-play cross-platform game. Now, remember, Warner Brothers Games has been involved in everything. Like they've been involved in pieces of Lord of the Rings Online back in the day, and the Mordor series, and all that fun stuff. They're looking for somebody with deep understanding of free-to-play games and the free-to-play games market, strong knowledge of free-to-play monetization strategies, and on the product manager side, they're looking for somebody to define, launch, analyze, and operate free-to-play games, and a producer to help lead the creation of a new free-to-play cross-platform from pre-production through release and into live operations. So we got a could they have mentioned a few more times that what they're doing is free-to-play? Just
really want
just
to
a
know.
few more times what they're doing is free-to-play. We have no idea. No idea. Any speculation on this one, Wilfredo? What do you got? You look like you're a thinking man right there.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking. So I don't know if they're going to do anything crazy over the top outside of like maybe bringing something in with like a DC or maybe the Mortal Kombat franchise or something like that. That's a possibility. I really don't see it happening. However, my concern is this particular knowledge for people who have free-to-play monetization strategies, because they could be picking people from anywhere. EA, Blizzard Activision, Perfect World Entertainment, who have found ways to monetize free-to-play games to snatch money from people with gacha mechanics. And mind you, Warner Brothers Studios, they're not, clean of this slate. They did it with Shadow of War, and there was a lot of controversy with that stuff. They're kind of doing it with Mortal Kombat Aftermath.
Well, and the patent for the whole Nemesis AI system that they just recently got too, which is, I think, a net bad for the gaming industry, by the way, but that's a separate topic for a separate time.
Right. So I'm totally down for this idea. I really want, if it's a free to play MMO, I really want it to be something that has a rich lore to it, rich history. I want them to put in the work. I let them take the time that they need. I'm looking at you, Cyberpunk. But I'm a little skeptical. I'm just cautiously optimistic about free-to-play monetization strategies and tactics.
Fan in chat says it sounds like a mobile game. And Q, to be fair, the San Diego studio, when it was opened in 2019, was described as being dedicated to making games for smart devices, specifically free-to-play titles. But in all of these job posts, the including of AAA and cross-platform kind of lead you to believe that it might be on mobile, but it's not going to be limited to mobile.
Harry Potter gotcha game.
You calling it? You calling it right now?
No argument on this side.
Harry Potter gotcha game.
Fair enough. We'll keep our eyes on it. So will you. In North Dakota, Epic was lobbying North Dakota government to take on a bill that that would forbid digital storefronts from like Apple or Google's stores from distributing apps or forcing payments exclusively through their systems. Now, Epic has tried to back itself off of this and say, look, we weren't really the ones driving this, but they are part of the Coalition for App Fairness, who is the one that sponsored the bill. The actual bill itself, the actual dialogue, the actual writing of the bill was written by, hold on, I lost my place on my page here, Lacey Bjork Anderson, who is a lobbyist, both hired by Epic Games and who works for the said Coalition of App Fairness. So when you work for both companies, it's really hard to say that you're only doing it on behalf of the coalition, which is Epic and a lot of other companies, not just Epic. So it kind of had a whole bad look to it. Give you a little update. That bill did go to vote and failed, 36 to against to 11 in favor. So it was rejected. Kind of trying to use this as like a testing ground to put this legislation into other states in the United States. I'm glad to see it failed. If you have your beef with Google going, Q, that's fine. Settle it in court. Let the courts decide this. I hate when legislation tries to adjudicate a situation, which is what I see this as being an attempt to do.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like me as just an average person, I feel a little, like was the not wishy-washy, but like on the one hand, I understand not wanting to let Apple and Google just have complete control. On the other hand, as a user, and I was thinking about this the other day when I did something through my phone, right? And my payment went through Google, not through whatever it was that I was doing. And I'm just like, I actually feel better letting Google handle the transfer of my money so I know where it's going through to. And then my information isn't just given to whatever random app that it was that, like that. So, but I mean, yeah, I do agree. It's something that I mean, I guess at some point somebody's gonna try to make laws or push through laws on it somewhere, because the courts are just, if they do it in court, they're just gonna keep going back and forth on it forever, because they're a whole bunch of very large companies with a lot of money to spend and fight each other over shit. So
Shit just got angry at Wilfredo's house.
We're still talking about this?
The bat is out. This is a different Epic thing. This is not Epic and Apple. This is Epic and
Epic
state
and
laws.
Yep. That's been going on for about a year now, trying to make things change.
Has it been a year?
Because they're fighting Apple and Google. It's almost a year that they've been fighting this stuff.
Oh,
and we're still talking about it because Epic started a war with Apple, a company known for having a proprietary system. Do you agree with this? I don't agree with this. I mean, it was a good idea, right? Yeah, I didn't think so either.
I think, Wilfredo, you're talking to a bat, my friend. You're talking to a bat.
No, he's talking to its skull.
And Discord froze on the best image ever.
You just need to screen cap that. You just screen cap that and make it the image for the show.
And it froze again at one point. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, by the way, I've given the bat a name. His name is Doyle.
All right. Fair enough. Last up, many of us in the United States are experiencing some cold weather. Texas really, really under the gun when it comes to the cold weather. Our thoughts are with everybody just trying to work their way through that situation and hope everybody does it safely. On the gaming front, it's interesting to see, like, you don't really think, Q, of Texas as being the home of many games. Like, you have BioWare Austin, right? That one comes to mind, but then...
What do you mean? No, Texas has several game development companies.
No. I'm not talking about them being the development companies. I'm talking about like where the architecture from games is usually run. Like usually those are housed in Nevada,
Seattle,
and things like that. However, the weather in Texas has led to some delays across the board. So, not surprisingly, BioWare Austin, as I mentioned, Star Wars The Old Republic 621 is being pushed back due to severe weather. No date has been given for that one. Blade and Soul's Eternal Blade update, that was supposed to release 2 days ago. They're pushing that back a week to the 24th because of rolling blackouts prevent our server operations team from securely deploying the necessary builds. This is more to what I was talking about, Q. BioWare's is more to what you're talking about, the development side being delayed. This was my side, that deploying builds and files for updates seems a little weird. Also, Fallout 76, that team in Austin, they're having to boil snow for water as of 2 days ago. So it's been a little rough. In addition to, oh, by the way, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. So cut them a little slack, guys. Cut them a little slack. Let's slide over to the weekly bombs. I'm going to go first since we've already talked about mine. I'm going to give a dub bomb to Haxity. I actually had quite a bit of fun with it. Again, you're not going to have a ton of fun with it forever or anything, but it is a nice jump in with a friend. So I'm going to give them a dub bomb thumbs up. It's not going to take over your gaming world or anything, and it's a sad reason for it to go free to play, but it is kind of fun if you don't get angry at a lot of RNG. So just be aware on that one. Go ahead, Q.
And what they believe is a nice set of goodies.
Yeah.
For people. That was a hell of a box.
Yeah, that was a hell of a box. That was a hell of a box. Go ahead, Wilfredo.
I'm giving an A-bomb to myself for not doing enough WVWVW in Guild Wars 2 to get a bigger backpack.
Jason would feel your pain on inventory management. Ninja Panda is giving an A-bomb to his damn PC for not playing nice and working properly. I just want to play games. Min the Moment says dub bomb for that new Mortal Kombat trailer looking real good. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
They got some serious love. Like one of the people was saying that they were damn near in tears.
Yeah, the producer.
From it.
Yeah, the producer tweeted out that, watching us watch it was... You know what? Releasing a rated R trailer was probably the best thing they could have done for themselves. It was absolutely a good trailer. Looking forward to it. Let's see. From the viewers, Misfit Rain, A-bomb to Troy for hating on battle passes. That's the only reason I play Rift now, and I wish it was in every MMO, in my opinion. I think they're a great way to give games some extra cash to stay alive and create more content. I love getting cosmetics. I do agree I don't care about the artifacts. Also, the bomb to Dogecoin. I know this was a meme. I say was. I got mine. Oh, and an edit. A-bomb to New World. Delayed again, spring 2021 to August 31st, 2021. Yeah, we talked about that pre-show. If you're watching this on YouTube or mmobomb.com, we certainly appreciate the support. Give it a like. Bring your friends over. Make sure you subscribe. Hit those notifications. But come on over live so you can catch the pre-show and the post-show. Old Glory, A-bomb to me for missing most of this free-to-play cast stream. Nasagra saying the same.
It's a good thing we recorded.
Yeah, good thing we put it up on YouTube and on the site. Go ahead, Q.
Yamikami, Dabom, I'm playing Path of Exile again, and oh boy, talk about that feature creep. Coming back to the game after so many years is overwhelming.
I believe we talked about that at the top of the show.
right? Grinding gear games, you make way too much content. Oh my god. And it's good stuff too. How am I even supposed to catch up here? There are still two things I really dislike about the game. First, the game does not like it if I have a podcast running in the background, even though this is the best kind of game to listen to podcasts in the background. And second, it's still the most single player online game ever.
We got a big one there in chat, Wilfredo. You want to take Guardian Veils?
Sure. Dub bomb to the awesome CCG battle I had with Insanity Engine in Chroma, Bloom, and Blight. I don't know what to call the monstrosity of the deck Insanity Engine played. Spell, card, draw, heal, reset deck. It took an hour, but I won. And dub bomb to Chroma, Bloom, and Blight. A bomb to discard decks.
Yeah, I was surprised by how much I enjoyed Chroma when we did the first look and then talked about it on the show. Question of the week last week. Speaking of Chroma, can a not buying cards model work in a free-to-play CCG space? Like, how would you do it? Do you think it could succeed? Sokapek saying, question of the week, I'm with Troy on CCGs. Screw them. That being said, I think it's really smart to monetize dev art. The Dota community has been asking for the MS Paint icon since I can remember. Good on them. Talking about Chroma monetizing the alternate art and even the concept art from way back when they started development. Go ahead, Q.
Dishwasher, which I totally read as dishwasher at first, by the way. I wonder, is a CCG in which you're not collecting any cards so far still a collectible cards game?
True. I guess the term should be living card game for this one, right? It should be an LCG.
There you go.
LCG.
Edit, by the way, I really want to like that game, but whatever it is they're doing to my mouse movements, smoothing acceleration, is making that extremely difficult. I hope there is or will be some way to turn that off.
Wilfredo, finish it up.
Sure. Yakikami, question of the week. I went back to watch your Chroma report, and the game looks meh. The idea of having all the cards unlocked sounds good, but the first look did not even wow me enough to want to try it. Magic just seems way more interesting and in depth, and in Hearthstone promises more crazy shenanigans. Plus, the card art in either of those games is better and has more charm. I wish the devs of the game best of luck, but I would be surprised if the game turns out to be a success. Ooh.
Harsh. But hey, everybody gets one opinion. Question of the week. Have you ever quit your favorite MMO? What was the game and why? And if you haven't, what would make you quit your favorite MMO tomorrow? Like a change in the game, a grind, your friends leaving. Like what would be the trigger for you to quit your favorite game tomorrow? Put your answers to the question of the week or your weekly debombs in the comments below. Remember, dub bomb for something good, a bomb for something bad in the world of gaming. Come on over to mmobomb.com. Make sure you subscribe and follow on the YouTube page. And until next week, Wilfredo, where can everybody find you, my friend?
Find me on Twitter at DamianXMarius and twitch.tv/DamianXMarius.
Cute.
On Twitter at Quitland.
Easy enough. I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there at magicman1, but more importantly, follow at MMOBomb. Get tweets on all the latest news, articles, free-to-play weekly, free-to-play cast, first looks, giveaways, interviews, and so much more. Until next time, gang, stay safe. See you on the servers.